Well, hello, and welcome back. If you're coming back, I am going to be watching the chat over here. Oh, let me get the screen set up. Things moved around a little bit. I had unplugged and replugged the whatchamajig, that thing, the monitor. Yeah. Anyway, let me back this out. That's a little too close for comfort. Oh, that's even closer. There we go. Like that. Yeah. There we are. Okay. So I'm going to be working tonight, but I'm also just going to be listening to an audiobook. We'll see how that goes for me. And you are welcome to ask me questions when I'm looking over here. I'm looking at the chat. But I'm just gonna be chill tonight. I'm not gonna be talking out loud as much about what I'm doing. But maybe I will. We'll see. We'll see. I need to bring up one more thing before I get started. Oh, and this, what is this over here? Oh yeah, it's the JS doc stuff. JS doc stuff. And cool. All right, well, let me go ahead and get started then. That one I can get out of. This one I can get out of. I think this stuff I can get out of. Let me see. Where do I need to be? I think over here. That's for another time. This can come back over here. And let me get my logs up over on this screen. Okay, see that got disconnected. So yeah, when I'm looking over here, I am checking for comments. Let's just move that out of the way. We're going to see. I can listen to music really well. I mean, music really helps. Sometimes audiobooks are distracting. Sometimes they're helpful. It depends. It's the whole ADHD thing. I like to have something else to entertain the half of my brain. There's a video called You Are Too that my coworker shared with me. Maybe I'll share that in the chat as well. Do I have Mistborn on here? I should have Mistborn on here. Oh, there it is. Just not the cover art I'm used to. There we go. Here we go. I gotta work through this error. Cannot delete or update paragraph. 4K constraint fails. Count user. I'm not really clear on what this error is about. It looks like it's the wrong table, actually. Let me bring this up a little bit. Let's see if we can make this a little bigger, a little more visible. Yeah, that constraint doesn't quite make sense for what I thought I was doing. Utils verify user. Model user. That makes sense. That seems right. And then with auth, I'm just grabbing the user ID here and email verified at. So if I'm doing a patch to the user, I don't know. I don't see how that should get the account table involved at all. ID, user ID, email verified at. Email verified. I just added this recently, which is why I'm working on this code. Anyway, I'm going to listen a little. I think this is it right here. So it gets confusing when you work through the different ORM systems and stuff. So with objection, first you query, that creates a query builder, and you can patch, but see, in a lot of them you would get and then patch. Well, I mean, it makes sense. Anyway, you have to have a where clause, so it doesn't automatically look at what's the ID and then patch by ID. It does a patch where. So I think that was my issue here. So if I go back, well, just this alone will probably fix it. Let me see. Oh, and I need to actually put in a user. So let's put in my email. Email verified at should be a string. Okay, so that, I don't know if I want it to be that way. Let's see. So I guess this should be new date.to ISO string. I think that's how it's going to work. And then I'll have to go fix this in the other place where I was actually using it. Let me go ahead and just do that real quick. Anyway, I'm going to go back to my book now. Welcome. I'm just taking it easy today, but feel free to ask questions. Also, feel free to tell me where you're from, what you're doing, what your interest is in Node, or watching some rando work. I'm just listening to Mistborn, actually. We're doing a book club with some friends. I've read it before with my wife, but now I'm listening to it. And then I'm just trying to work through some database errors. Hey, I'm glad to hear it. What in particular? What did you like recently on JavaScript Jabber? Maybe I'll pause this for a second and chat. I'll since you joined in, if you wanna hear what I'm thinking, I'll think out loud. So there's a couple of things I'm doing. One is I'm slowly trying to apply JS doc to the project, and so as I'm going about what I'm actually here for, I'm also looking at all of these different type errors and trying to reason about if there's a way that I can get the type linter to be happy. And I probably can't. Welcome. I see somebody else just joined in. Normally I talk out loud, but I'm just pretty chill tonight. Oh, cool. The Alpine JS episode, yeah, that just landed, and Steve was the one who had invited him, but couldn't make it. He told me he thought it was pretty good too, so glad to hear that. I've actually recommended Alpine JS to a couple of people since then. All right, let's see. Let's see, why would I have this user with nothing? That seems like that should be an error. What was this function again? Notify? Oh. I wonder if I'd stubbed that out. Definitely this should be... Wait, hold on. Notify is going to come about... I think it was just... Oh, okay, so it actually could be... I think I'll do this. I think that's the more appropriate thing to do. There we go. This is Vim, yes. This is Vim. That's so strange. I just told it that it is type user, and type user definitely has first name on it, doesn't it? Let me go back over here real quick. Okay, login without password. Yeah, so Vim is a mode-based editor, which basically means that when you want to do commands, you hit escape. Okay, so this is actually for my day job. I just didn't get my hours in today, so I'm getting in a few before I go to bed because I had something else come up that I needed to take care of. And personal projects, I usually spend a couple hours a day on. I usually spend probably a couple hours learning things, whether it's at work or while I'm working on personal projects. And then I spend a couple hours on things like Bliss is what I've been working on recently. Let me pull that up. This is my... Everybody has to build 2 or 3 blogging platforms, of course, you know. So it's more supplemental. But Bliss is... Well, it doesn't look right in Safari because Safari mashes all this text together. But whatever. The real magic happens in Hugo, but this makes it easier to create a post that has the front matter and stuff on it. And that's a project that I'm working on recently. But I've got a few. I should probably... I'm talking very softly today, too. So, oh well. All right. Why is this? I really wish I knew why that was complaining. Okay, yeah, object definitely has to do it. Am I maybe I'm defining a user somewhere else as well. No, it's right there. Type def, object, user, ID, first name. So what is it complaining about? I typed it up here. Type user. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, maybe it's because I need to exit out and open this back up again. Let me do that. So figuring out how to use JSDoc with type linting has been quite the journey so far. That has evolved into kind of a project. Well, I created a sample project for it so you could learn it. That's one of the videos. If you check on I posted that on the Beyond Code Bootcamp channel, which is linked in the doobly-doo, if you're interested in watching that. So I don't listen to coding podcasts. I like the podcasts that I've listened to have been things like true crime. I kind of think, I mean, you might get this from listening to JavaScript Jabber, but new stuff is overrated. I like it when I hear about something that's new and useful, but most new things aren't useful. Because most patterns have existed for many years, and most of the things that solve those patterns well, or work with those patterns well, were invented many years ago. There's exceptions to that, but I don't know. I find that the things that are the most helpful are usually the least starred. So for example, let me pull this up here. Everybody has heard of EJS, but EJS is really stupid. It's a terrible template language. Hardly anybody has heard of ETA, but ETA is exactly what you want in a template language. It does exactly what is important to do. It supports, number one, it supports layouts, and then it has proper white space control with the bracketing. So the way that I come across new things is more need-based. When I look at something and it's complicated, like I was looking at some EJS templates and I was just thinking, this is really awkward and stupid, and it doesn't work well in an editor. What is going on here? And then I just searched until I came across ETA, and let's see how many stars it has on GitHub. GitHub ETA, and whoops, compare that. GitHub ETA. Let's do npm.js ETA, and let's compare that to EJS real quick. No, that's not what we want. We want EJ or ETA that is, yeah, JavaScript. Okay, 366 stars. Pitiful. Absolutely amazing library. Everybody should be using this. And I don't know. I feel like, well, maybe feel isn't the right word. It seems to me that what gets hype and what's really useful and solves a problem well don't have a high correlation. But also, I just don't find listening to code very entertaining to me. I like participating in discussion, but I'd rather listen to something about true crime or history or fantasy. Yeah. It gets a pretty decent number of downloads, though. 50,000 is not bad. Yeah, compared to 5.7K. Anyway, let me get back to the spell check and see. Yeah, I think leveling up is something that you do through careful analysis, I guess. Just experiencing problems and finding solutions that are not just what people say work, but what you really understand. Like, you can know, yeah, this works well. Okay, I don't actually want to put that there. Let's see, argument type string or undefined is not assignable. So, I wonder, what should it have? What should I do with this? I suppose .env is right there. So I suppose I should do if not private key right here, throw new error missing. Let's go ahead and switch this over to be quotes. Private key. Now I wonder if we go down here, does it still complain? Yeah, it still complains. Not really sure how to fix that. Maybe there's one more thing I could do. I could do this. Let private key equal private key, or yeah, some of these things are not quite the way that I'd like them to be. Go is a lot better at its type system than TypeScript is, or at least the TypeScript linter. It's not assignable to true. Okay, are we using this incorrectly? Let me go check that out. Another module that's a 5-star module meaning like 5-star hotel, would be base tag. That's what allows me to put the dollar signs in front of here, so they don't have to have a bunch of dot, 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 dot. I can just put dollar signs and then require things from the root of the project. A large project makes it so much easier. Completely underrated. Let me see, you got some more comments here? Fair enough. Sounds like a Nassim Taleb take. I don't know who that is. Nassim Taleb. I'm gonna Google this real quick. I'm working on a Flask app recently, Python. No, I haven't. I don't really do much in Python. I think that Python's great for learning. I mean, you say you're aware of my thoughts on Python. I'll reiterate them anyway. But I think it's great for learning, but I don't think that it's good for web services. I would never recommend that you use it for a web service. Let's see. Who is Nassim Taleb? Oh. What does he do? Anti-fragile thinking for a fat-tailed world. Ooh, title's got me. Probability is a liberal art. It's a child of skepticism, not a tool for people with calculators on their belts to satisfy their desire to produce fancy calculations and certainties. I don't really know what that means. I'll check this out later. Thanks for turning me on to that. Which of his books should I, if I was going to listen to one of them, which one is the best one to start with to get me into the Taleb or Talib world? Also, a lot of these titles look very similar. Oh yeah, a lot of these titles look very good, and they look very similar to other books that I have looked at. Anyway, let me get back over here. All right, I was going to go look at this .env to see what's up here. Silent equals false. Do we even use silent? We don't even use silent. Huh. All right, this is where we're doing our checks. .env. What else is being used here? We're not even doing anything with it. Let's just go like this. Time zone. What does time zone have to do with anything? Dead old code, old comments. Takes care of important initial. That's not a good descriptor of this. Yeah, I agree with that actually. True is not assignable to type string. That's actually correct. I wonder where all this is used, because if it's used in a way that isn't strictly Boolean, I'd actually be okay with updating that. Yeah, it looks like it is used in a way that is not strictly Boolean. So I'm actually going to go with, yeah, let's turn that into a string. That's appropriate. Oh, the Lindy effect. The best ideas stand the test of time, so old ideas are most worthy of study. Yeah, and I think when it comes to computer science, there are things that come around that are new, but they're old. Go, for example. Go's paradigms are very, very old. Go is new-ish. It's 10 years old. But the paradigms are very, very new. Rust has some Go is relatively new. The paradigms are very, very old. Rust has some paradigms that are new, but not too many of them. They're mostly old paradigms. So much of this stuff. Oh my goodness. Do you know about Grace Hopper? I think the story of her experience with the compiler is a good story to understand. People don't like things that work well and solve problems in a simple way. Because if they did, we would have had to go much, much sooner, decades and decades sooner. And yeah, so many things came out of, I think it's Smalltalk is where a lot of the best ideas have come from. Somehow C++ became popular. Maybe Smalltalk was a little complicated. I don't know. I haven't really used it. I just know Objective-C and then therefore Swift, a lot of Ruby, a lot of different languages credit Smalltalk. Okay, so this doesn't actually require any configuration. Calculate, do we even use this? Calculated env. This is just for printing? No. We actually are... I wonder why that's assigned in that way. Front end URL. This one is just... I don't... What... Why in the world... I believe this would do just as well to move, say, here. And then I think this is like, we want to deprecate one of these. I think we want to get rid of application URL and just have front end URL, or maybe it's the reverse. I don't know. But in any case, what do we have up here? Up here we have application URL. So it is the reverse, right? Maybe? Yeah, okay. Front end URL is the one that we want to get rid of. Okay. And then what about this live box? I guess that doesn't matter one way or the other. Where we do it? Fooled by randomness is good. Okay. I'm going to go put that on my list right now on Audible. Although I am so far behind on my audiobooks. I've got 10 stacked up right now. Although I'd finished 2 this month already. No, I think I finished 3 this month. So I'm catching up. Yeah, I love the title, Fooled by Randomness. Just sounds nice. Let's see, occasionally... Let me go put this in my... Take me to Audible. Take me there. That's weird. Okay. All right, so that looks better. Okay, I put it in my wish list. Wait, which one should I get? There's more than one Fooled by Randomness. Hidden role of chance in life and in markets. Wait, one's black and one's white. One's 10 hours long, the other's 8 hours long. One was published in 2008, the other was published in 2019. Maybe I get the newer one? Maybe it's been updated and has somebody who reads faster? I think I've heard of Anti-Fragile. That has some dangerous ideas in there. Or by dangerous, I mean ones that are very politically charged if I I'm familiar with it because it basically says these things that people like to put out as people can never overcome these problems, blah, blah, blah. It ends up being that they're not problem. Well, there's things that are really, really bad that happen to people. Really, really bad. And that statistically speaking, people get over them and live normal lives and aren't that affected on average. Obviously, some people have terrible PTSD and are affected terribly, terribly, but on average, people get back to living well. And this is controversial politically because 20-somethings. Okay, why is it complaining? Does it want lodash.default? Is that what it wants here? Is that what it wants from me? What do you want from me? It says Lodash is not a module. I don't even... What does that mean? Call this module exports. Oh, it's okay. I see. Huh. I wonder what if we did this. First of all, what Lodash do we have? Okay, 4.17. What Lodash is current? 4.17. Then maybe we need to get the Lodash types. Yeah, I see they're doing something kind of funny there to suit all of the module systems of the rainbow. Okay, let's see. Now if I go back in here, where was I? Now is it going to complain about Lodash? Was it over here? Oh, this is the one thing that kind of stinks. Okay, so npx base tag link. After every npm install, you got to rerun npx base tag link because npm now likes to delete things. Okay, so that's not... There we go. Okay, cool. Now that's happy. Sweet. Glad I've got that done. All right, errors is declared, but its value is never read. Indeed. I don't think that this is a problem anymore. I'm just going to delete that. And if it is a problem, we'll find out, and then we'll fix it. All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah. Grace Hopper. She found the first bug. She made the first compiler. She's the one that's responsible for the quote, it's easier to ask forgiveness than to get permission. I heard you express your respect for Douglas Crockford in his talks, books on JS. Is there a similar figure you respect in the Go community? Oh, yes. Basically, everyone. So, check out... Oops. If you search Go Proverbs poster, that will take you to a nice printable poster that I made from the Go Proverbs so that you can hang it by your desk and feel great. And, let's see. Can I get to the point where I can paste in the chat here? Yeah, I'll paste in the chat there. And Rob Pike, there's a link to the talk down at the bottom. Rob Pike, but everybody on the Go team is just so good. They're all such smart, measured individuals. And they're maybe a little bit more palatable than Douglas Crockford because he is, kind of an a-hole. But I like him just fine. I don't have to go out and have lunch with him. I just get to enjoy the benefit of his contributions to making the world a better place. And I'm cranky too, so I get it. Here's another thing I'll link you to, which there's a couple of Go bits on here. I think the blog article toward Go 2 is really great. So I think that one is by Russell Cox. Let me see who it was. There's 3 or 4 top dudes in Go. Yeah, Russ Cox. He wrote Toward Go 2, which was just so beautiful, especially when they talk about the problem with Cloudflare. And just, man, it's so good. Oh wait, was this the right one? Was it Toward Go 2 or was it? Yeah, okay, it was. Yeah, this is the one where they talk about the Cloudflare fiasco. I just love how they handled it. I mean, it seems like it was an obvious problem. People knew that the time resolution had a problem, but there wasn't a clear solution. And so they didn't come to a consensus on what the right solution was. But then when there was an outage with Cloudflare, the way that the outage occurred pinpointed the way that the problem needed to be solved. And so they waited for the bug to happen. They very lazy, I don't know if optimized is the right word, but they very much lazy evaluated that problem and said, since we don't know what the solution is, we'll wait and see. And they just had such a measured approach to it, and I thought it was really cool. Okay. Let me see. So I fixed the database problem that I was having. Now I'm just kind of looking through and seeing if there's some type stuff that I can update. Why is it complaining about Morgan? Morgan. Do I need to do .default on Morgan? Do I need to add some type? Huh. Now let's see if that really works, because here's the funny thing. I found this out today. So with the community adopting TypeScript and definitely typed and all that, there's just more hodgepodge, and then the import system, et cetera, et cetera. And the default format, use combined format. So this is really strange. Default is a getter setter. So that's a problem. So here we've got a problem where the TypeScript linter is looking at the type definition file, and it says, oh, this has a default export. I need you to use the default export and be able to infer the type information. But then there actually isn't a default export when you're doing require. It's only if you're doing import. So let me see if I can fix this. I'm going to try doing @type and then do an import here instead of doing to kind of override the require. And I think this might work. No overload matches this call. I don't know. Do I do it like this? What? Wait, what was that? Saying there's no there's no member default in the ES module version. We're just making things too complicated. I agree there's some benefits. Well, there's one unimportant benefit to import. It's almost as good as require, but then it causes strange problems. I guess this doesn't really matter. I'm just going to tell it to ignore it. This is not what I really need to focus on. I want to get to the point where the type linting is working well, and to try to get some of the others on the team to adopt it. I think TypeScript is a far cry. It'd be difficult to rewrite the whole app in Go. It'd be difficult to rewrite the whole app in TypeScript. But the type linting, and I don't like TypeScript, it's too complicated. But the type linting, if I get the hang of it, if I can solve most of the problems, then that's something I can move forward with. So user is missing the following. Why do you think user is missing the following? Because login without password by. I just went in there. Whoops. Where was that? It was right here. Login without password by. So I gave this the definition that it needs right there. And where was the other one? Right here, right? Yeah. So param, promise user. So I should be able to, maybe I have to cast this like that. I don't know. Did I define user again in here somewhere by mistake or on purpose? Let's see. Accounts does exist on type user. It does. It does. I'm so confused. It seems to have conflicting information about what user means. There is accounts. Boom. Now it could say it may not exist, but it says it does not exist. And that's wrong. So let me try this. Again, you know, what I've been doing a lot with this is putting in some ignores and then does not exist, but maybe it does. Let's try that. Putting in some ignores, and then I figure out how to do it the right way, and I go back later and I fix it up. Yes, it does. It absolutely 100% does. ACCOUNTS. 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 Array, account, property, typedef, object, user. There must be another typedef for user. Maybe, oh, I think I know what's happening. I think that it's overriding it because, I don't know, we'll see what we can do. I'm going to try one other thing here. So let user model, again, I'm just kind of playing around, let user equals, well, I guess I should do this afterwards. All right. User was used before it was declared. Yeah, okay, let's do this then. Model. User was used before it was declared, but not anymore, right? Because I just fixed that. Okay. Does not exist on type user. Okay, I'm going to give up on that. That's a battle for a different day. Doot. I guess I'm not actually listening to headphones. Maybe I can take that banner off now. Let me go check comments here. All right, no more comments. Oh, and I didn't read this one. Sorry. I'm in Central Time Zone, so I got to go to bed. Keep up the good work with Chuck, Amy, and Steve and Dan. Appreciate every episode you guys put out. All right, I will be sure to let them know. Sorry I did not get you those links probably in time. I don't know if there's a way to message people on YouTube, but I will get those to you if I can. And I'll go back to listening to my book. It says somebody's still watching. Let's see. Can I message you? I don't have a way to message you. Okay, well, I will just give a shout out on the episode, maybe the next episode we do. Okay. Anyway, whoever's watching, if you want to say hello, feel free to say hello. If you want to lurk, feel free to lurk. The world is your oyster. My chamomile's gone cold. Oh. Cool. Glad to see that you got that. You have a good night. Hmm. let's see. I should go here to where there's the Google login. And I should check the issuer. I think the issuer is accounts.google.com. Email verify that. I want to repeat this logic here. Basically say, if you log in with Google and your email is verified, we trust that your email is verified. Oh, hello, and welcome. I'm mostly just kind of keeping quiet tonight, but feel free to say hey, who you are, where you're from, and feel free to ask me any questions, and I'll answer as we go. Right now, I'm listening to Mistborn. I read it once, but I'm doing a book club with some friends, and that's one of the two books that we've got for the quarter. So I'm going back through it again. The other one was Killers of the Flower Moon, which was about a conspiracy of murders against the Osage Indians, which was just so sad and creepy. But people don't change, so if stuff like that happened 100 years ago, something like that is still happening today. And then as far as what I'm coding on, this is just fixing up some stuff with some authentication. So if the person logs in with Google and their email isn't verified, or their name, or any of these things aren't verified, then if their email isn't verified, or they are missing a first name or last name, then we update that from their Google token. Yeah. Hey, look at you staying up all hours of the night also. I am listening to Mistborn. So, audiobook. And I've read the book before, but because I'm part of a book club with some friends, I am listening to it again. We have 2 books this quarter, and that is one of them. And then here, I don't know how to, I guess I'll just quiet it this way. I wish the TypeScript linter was just a little bit smarter about conditionals. If you check something and then you throw, then it is not possible for it to reach a condition where it is not assigned. Okay, is used before being assigned. But it's not. It's not used before being assigned. Anyway, well, let me see what this was. Exchange handler. Oh, hey Nick. What time zone are you in? No, I'm not listening to a podcast. I am listening to an audiobook. Mistborn. Did you already hear my explanation? Did you join in right around that time? So I'm applying my... I've put that on pause because I saw some comments come in. But I'm applying my new TypeScript skills. Or type linting skills, yeah. I think... Did I have a union? Yeah, I got a union. There we go. Sure. Promise. There we go. Oh. Can we do that? The syntax is really hodgepodge. It seems like it started out as one thing and then grew over time. But it also doesn't seem like it was particularly geared towards JavaScript development. Again, it seems like somebody really wanted to make a class-oriented language out of this. Staying up for your brother's in Australia. Okay, yeah, I was about to ask if you were in Australia because there's a couple people that do pop in from Australia when I'm on late at night. Okay, what is this whining about? Yeah. looks like I will have to do this. Was it like that? No, given name. Doing given name and family name. All right. Have a good party. Okay, let's see. Do you ever use classes? If not, what's your approach for inheritance? Why would you need inheritance? No, I don't use classes in JavaScript. There was a time when I used to have lots of nesting in my objects, but it turned out that that was a bad idea. And the code was more complicated and had too much state and was just more difficult to manage. But why would you need inheritance was an honest question. I'll look at that in just a second. I'm going to see if restructuring this will cause it to be behave more the way that I want it to. Let's see. I find it useful occasionally when the class has a very well-defined purpose, where I prefer calling class methods to importing and calling other functions. Yeah. So if you watch the Crockford videos, actually I might be able to link you to a Stack Overflow that I came across recently. And then I answered it as well. But essentially, if you need to mix things together, you can just do object.assign, and you can get the functions that you need on there as well. You don't really, there's a very, very slight trade-off that won't much matter either way in almost any case between whether you're using objects or prototypes / classes. Objects are slightly faster because the pointer is directly on the object itself rather than there being a pointer to the parent. So whenever there's a prototype inheritance chain, whenever it doesn't find the method or property on the object, it follows the pointer to the parent and looks there, and then follows the pointer to the next parent and looks there until it arrives at object. Or I guess there's actually a way to create an empty prototype that it could traverse all the way up to. And if you do put your function pointers on the object, then they're larger by the size of a pointer, which isn't very large. So slightly faster, slightly bigger versus slightly smaller, slightly slower. Let me see if I can find. I'm losing my reign on Stack Overflow. I was in the 0.24%, and now I'm back down to 0.29. My old answers that were garnishing all of my points after 10 years have finally fallen out of vogue. Let's see. Where was that question? There we go. There's the Stack Overflow question referencing a couple of different approaches to classless JavaScript. Okay. I find it useful occasionally when the class has a very well-defined purpose and where I prefer calling class to calling other functions. For example, to implement an option in JavaScript, I can write a sum class and a none class. I wouldn't do that. I'm not really a fan of. I think it's great in Rust. I think the way that Rust has it implemented is wonderful. But I don't really try to coerce JavaScript into being anything other than it is. I kind of accept JavaScript as a scripting language that happens to be ridiculously performant, and I just try to use it as that. I don't try to make it a functional language. I don't try to make it an object-oriented language. I just use it as the world's only asynchronous, classless language. And then I try to use the fewest number of features that are possible and just make them work. And yeah, I don't really, what do you do where you end up using all of these, map and flat map and I don't understand the use case for those. Typically, when I'm going through data, whether I'm on the front end or the back end, if I need to transform it, it's because I want it to look nicer in an API. But I'm not very often taking like the whole idea of a flat map is kind of weird because just use concat. Just concat it if you need it. Or if you've got something that's coming in and it's a lot of stuff and it's bunches of stuff, that feels more like an event. That every time an event would fire, you would just take that batch and then you would put it in with the other stuff. So I don't understand the use cases for most of these things in JavaScript, at least. I totally get it in Rust. Option and sum, yeah, it's part of the language is the thing. So is being a feature of the language, I'm not fighting against Rust in order to use option or sum. That's very natural. It makes a lot of sense. And I don't really know how that would apply to JavaScript or if I'd want to do it. Let me think about it for a second. Yeah, you don't really. I don't really know why you'd need that because, for example, if you want a result object in JavaScript, just return an error and then check to see is it type of error, and if it's type of error, then you know what it is. And I guess you could have callback functions to say, okay, handle this result and call this callback function if it's this and this if it's that. But then that starts to feel like a promise. So a promise is essentially a result. And as far as an option goes, I think it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I don't know. Show me some code where you use an option in JavaScript. I mean, it totally makes sense in Rust, but I don't get it in JavaScript. Okay. I like Crockford's approach, but seem to end up with a different custom creation mechanism for every project, which just led me back to classes for the consistent and complete functionality. Okay. Yeah, I think that when you're experimenting, you try different approaches, and that makes total sense. But after a few projects, don't you find, okay, well, this approach seems to work really well, so I'm just going to use this approach? Because for me, I mean, granted, I'm dealing in code that exists and is old and all that, but and this is not working out. I think I might just call this an any and be done with it because it's not working out the way that I had hoped. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Oops, I think I'm going to call it an any and be done. Or I could have made everything else optional. Maybe I'll retype that at some point. But for right now, I'm just going to call it an any and call it good. Okay. So I did fix the things I was intending to fix, at least. I've got the first name in there. Got the email verified in there. And then I should see what else we got. Interesting. Oh, this verify function. Did I say it was going to be... Huh. It looks like that is a mistake in the typing of the other library. Let me go check that out real quick. Oh, I have this in a way that you can't see it. Let me bring this back around here. Sorry about that. Okay, so I think I actually just had the wrong type information. No, it wasn't on this one. It was on lib middleware? Or just middleware? It was on middleware. Huh, interesting. So pub, issuer optional. And this one can be null. That would actually be fine. I should go update that library. It's interesting to see how it chooses to type it. I suppose, let's see, do I have a types in this one? I don't know if I have a types in this one yet. Let me stash and do a pull. See what we get, because I thought I added some types to it, but perhaps I did not. So what do I need here? Type def for verify options. Let's call like that. And then we have at param pub would be, I think that's supposed to be essentially an any. I mean, I could define JTI. It could take me down a rabbit hole, though, of updating a ton of packages. I'm going back to my book. I'll look over here again in a bit. Let's see, with... Okay, I think I'm about to go to bed here. Alrighty. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to wrap up before I head out for the night. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? I should probably just go to bed. Get some good sleep. See if there's anywhere else where that's used. All right. Let's see. All right, there's something else I want to do, which is access codes. Did I create this? That looks like something I would have done. Okay, that looks like me. Did I ever use this, or did I just create it? I think I just created it. I don't think I ever used it. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I did use it. I remember now. I remember now. Okay, so I did start using this already, which is good. Access code. Okay, so I wanted to apply that to the room. Let's see. Access code. I don't know what that's going to be yet. So yeah, we can just label that an any for now. All right. Let's see. Room dot whatever. Huh. Alright, there's the room with the access code. And I think I know what I want to do there too. Yeah, but I don't have time to do this. I gotta go to bed. Got to go to bed. Okay. Yeah, access claims. Effective user, impersonator, account. And I think I maybe do want to add the room stuff, but not right now. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah. What do I need to do here? Room. Okay, cool. So that's all done. This access code is there. So I want to be able to say get by access code. Get room token. Interesting. I have to check those out and see. Get by access code. Get room token. Whew. That's scary looking. Bum, 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 bum. All right. I'm going to peace out. Remember, if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. So if you like watching me be silent and code quietly to myself, give this a big fat thumbs up. Otherwise, give it a big fat thumbs down, because every thumb helps. With that, I'm out. Adios.